There are moments that test more than just words, moments that reveal who truly holds the power in a room. The lights are blinding. The cameras roll. Every breath feels rehearsed, every glance calculated. But tonight, something's different. On one side sits Ivanka Trump, calm, elegant, and in control. The kind of composure that comes from years in the public eye. Across from her, Jasmine Crockett, sharp, fearless, and unshaken. A voice that carries the weight of authenticity in a space not built for her. The host tries to keep things light, smiling a little too wide, sensing what's coming but powerless to stop it. The audience leans forward, they can feel it too. That quiet, electric tension before something unforgettable happens. Because beneath the polite conversation, beneath the perfectly measured smiles, a storm is forming. A storm that will leave one woman exposed, and the other standing taller than ever before. What begins as a simple exchange of ideas will become one of those moments people replay over and over. Not for the politics, but for the power shift. And it all starts with a single question, one that no one in that room saw coming. The studio glows beneath layers of light warm enough to flatter, harsh enough to expose. Every reflection on the glass desk, every shift in posture feels amplified. You can almost hear the air conditioning hum against the low buzz of whispered conversation. Ivanka Trump sits poised on the left, her movements polished, her tone deliberate. She's been here before, under the lights, under scrutiny, and she knows exactly how to perform calm. Her smile is measured, almost rehearsed, like someone aware that every blink might become a headline. Across from her sits Jasmine Crockett, steady and still. There's no script in her eyes. She's not here to charm or to conform. Her energy feels raw, grounded, a reminder that realness doesn't always need volume to be heard. Between them, the host shuffles cue cards that suddenly feel too thin to hold the weight of the moment. He opens with polite laughter, casual questions about the week, anything to melt the tension that's already forming. But the small talk only stretches the silence that follows. The audience senses it first. They lean in, drawn by a feeling they can't yet name. Two women worlds apart, sitting inches away, but separated by everything they represent. Legacy and struggle, privilege and persistence. This isn't just a debate. It's an unspoken challenge. Each word that follows will decide who truly commands the room. And as the first real question lands, the balance between performance and authenticity begins to shift quietly, but unmistakably. The first question sounds simple enough, safe, predictable, the kind of opener meant to ease everyone in. What do you see as the most urgent issue facing Americans right now? Ivanka takes the cue without hesitation. Her tone is smooth, practiced. Every syllable lands like it's been through 100 interviews before. She talks about stability, tradition, and leadership, all the comforting words people expect to hear. Her hands move just slightly as she speaks, measured gestures designed to look effortless. She's in her element, calm, polished, and fully aware that the spotlight loves her. But the audience isn't leaning forward anymore. They're listening, yes, but not feeling it. Because while the words sound perfect, they don't breathe. It's control without connection. Then the host turns to Jasmine. Her response begins softer, grounded, unhurried, but the difference is immediate. There's warmth in her tone, weight behind her words. She doesn't talk about power or image. She talks about people, about fairness, opportunity, and voices that too often go unheard. She doesn't glance at the cameras. She looks directly at Ivanka, then at the audience, as if to remind them that this isn't a performance. This is real. For a moment, the studio feels suspended between two worlds, one rehearsed, one raw. Ivanka smiles politely, but her eyes flicker just enough to betray what she's thinking. This isn't going according to plan. The host senses it too. The laughter he tries to spark falls flat, absorbed by the weight of contrast sitting between the two women. What started as polite dialogue now feels like a quiet dual charm versus conviction, surface versus depth. And beneath the smooth exchange of words, an invisible current begins to pull. Something's shifting, slow at first, almost imperceptible, but soon it'll be impossible to ignore. The conversation drifts on, polite on the surface, but colder underneath. Ivanka adjusts her sleeve, a small, almost imperceptible move, but it signals something. Her patience is thinning. Jasmine's words land differently now. Each one is measured but real, and the audience feels it. There's no performance, no gloss, just honesty. And honesty in a room built for polish can be dangerous. The host tries to keep the tone light, throwing out another neutral question, but Ivanka leans forward before he can even finish. Her posture changes. Her smile tightens. The softness in her voice fades, replaced by something sharper, more deliberate. She interrupts politely but pointedly. Her words drip with condescension wrapped in charm. Well, maybe before you talk about what America needs, you should go to Africa first, really see what struggle looks like. The words hang there. No one moves. No one breathes. At first, it sounds like a suggestion, but everyone in the room knows it isn't. It's a dismissal, a quiet attempt to put Jasmine back in her place. The host's pen slips from his fingers, clattering against the table. The sound is small, but it cuts through the silence like a crack in glass. The audience shifts, glances passing between them, confusion, disbelief, discomfort. Ivanka leans back in her chair, face composed, confidence returning as if she's reclaimed control of the room. But she hasn't, not yet. Across the table, Jasmine doesn't flinch. No reaction, no defense, no forced smile. Just silence, heavy, deliberate, unbroken. The audience can feel the change, though they can't explain it. The insult was meant to diminish her. Instead, it's created something else, a tension so thick it pulls every gaze toward Jasmine. Ivanka thinks the silence is hers, but it's not. It belongs to the woman who hasn't said a word yet, and when she finally does, it will shift everything. The studio is still. You can hear the hum of the lights, the faint whir of the cameras, even the nervous shuffle of the host's notes. But Jasmine Crockett doesn't move. Not an inch. She just sits there, calm, composed, unreadable. No eye roll, no smirk, no sharp inhale. Just silence. At first, people mistake it for hesitation. They think maybe she's caught off guard, unsure how to respond. But then the seconds start to stretch, 1, 2, 3, and that quiet begins to change. It doesn't sound like uncertainty anymore. It sounds like control. Ivanka shifts in her seat, straightening her back, trying to look unaffected. Her smile stays, but it's tighter now, like she's holding on to it just a little too hard. She glances at the audience, looking for confirmation that the moment is still hers. It isn't. The room belongs to Jasmine now. The silence that was meant to isolate her has become her weapon. It amplifies everything: her composure, her confidence, her refusal to play the game. The audience feels it first. The murmurs die down. A few people exchange glances, unsure of what they're witnessing, but completely unable to look away. Even the host, frozen halfway through a note, doesn't dare speak. It's not the kind of silence that fills awkward spaces, it's the kind that reshapes them. In that stillness, power shifts, invisible but undeniable. And then, just when it feels like the tension might break under its own weight, Jasmine moves. Not much, just to lean forward, slow and deliberate. Her hands remain steady, her gaze fixed on Ivanka. You can feel the question forming before she even speaks. Every person in that room and every viewer watching knows something is coming. They just don't know what. But when it lands, it won't just end the silence. It will redefine it. The room feels suspended, too quiet, too focused. Every breath, every blink seems louder than it should. The silence stretches until it almost hurts. Then Jasmine finally speaks. Her voice is calm, steady, not raised, not defensive, just clear. She leans forward slightly and asks, "Why do you assume I need to go somewhere to understand struggle?" The words land with precision. No raised tone, no theatrics, just truth, delivered like a mirror. Ivanka blinks. Once, twice. Her posture falters, a subtle shift, but enough. Because that question isn't just about her comment. It's about everything beneath it: the assumption, the distance, the privilege wrapped in politeness. The host looks down at his notes, suddenly finding the paper very interesting. The audience doesn't move. Some are frozen mid-expression, trying to process what just happened. And Jasmine doesn't let the silence escape her this time. She keeps her gaze locked, her expression calm, letting the question do the work. She doesn't need to follow up. She doesn't need to explain. Because everyone already knows that one line said everything. Ivanka opens her mouth, searching for a response, but the timing's gone. Every word she might use now would sound like damage control. Every gesture rehearsed. The balance has flipped completely. The woman who tried to control the conversation is now the one scrambling to regain footing. And Jasmine? She's still sitting there, calm, grounded, unbothered, holding the kind of power you can't rehearse. It's the kind of moment that doesn't just go viral because of what was said, but because of what wasn't. A moment that shows composure can be louder than confrontation. And sometimes silence isn't weakness. It's strategy. The room exhales as if it had been holding its breath for minutes. But the air isn't just quiet, it's charged. Every gaze has shifted, every posture subtly altered. The attention no longer lingers on Ivanka. It has moved entirely to Jasmine. Ivanka tries to reclaim the narrative, her words polite but hollow. Maybe Jasmine should go to Africa to really understand, she begins, attempting to redirect to regain control. But it's too late. What once landed with sharpness now echoes weakly, like an empty note fading too quickly. The audience reacts not with shock but with recognition. Some nod, a few whisper, others fold their arms in silent agreement. The energy that had supported Ivanka moments ago has shifted irrevocably. Jasmine leans back, serene, almost untouchable. She doesn't need to speak again. Her single question has done all the work. It's not just a verbal comeback, it's a statement of presence, of authority, of belonging. She has turned a setup meant to undermine her into a platform that elevates her. Even the host senses it. His notes sit forgotten. His voice, when he finally speaks, lacks conviction, because everyone knows the moment has passed. The room's dynamic has fundamentally changed. Ivanka's polished composure cracks further. Every attempt to redirect her charm feels like pushing against a current she no longer controls. Meanwhile, Jasmine's calm assurance radiates outward, filling the space, commanding the room without raising her voice or resorting to theatrics. The audience sees more than a debate. They witness a lesson in restraint, confidence, and subtle power. They see how a single question, delivered with precision and conviction, can shift the balance entirely. And when the applause begins, it's not polite or tentative. It's deliberate, growing, a reflection of collective acknowledgement. Jasmine's strength, quiet, unwavering, strategic, has not only claimed the stage but the hearts of those watching. The air in the studio remains tense, but something has changed forever. The underdog has claimed the moment. The intended humiliation has backfired. And in the silence that follows, one truth is undeniable. Power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, and when it does, the world leans in to listen. In the end, what happened on that stage wasn't just a clash of personalities. It was a lesson in presence, a study of power, and a reminder that control isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, deliberate, and unwavering. Ivanka Trump came prepared, polished, confident, ready to dominate the conversation. But one question, asked calmly and precisely, shifted everything. Jasmine Crockett didn't raise her voice. She didn't insult or attack. She simply held the space, let the tension build, and delivered a single line that changed the room forever. The audience felt it. The host felt it. And even those watching at home could sense it, the subtle yet undeniable shift in who commanded attention. Moments like this remind us that true strength isn't measured by volume or aggression. It's measured by composure, clarity, and the courage to speak your truth when the odds are against you. For Jasmine Crockett, this wasn't just a victory on a stage. It was a statement. A declaration that respect, voice, and belonging are earned not through titles or privilege, but through presence, authenticity, and conviction. And for all of us, it's a reminder. Sometimes the quietest voice can speak the loudest, and one sharp, thoughtful question can change everything.